yeah, I'll leave that for now. Something that actually does show, not so much. You see it really with the text. I don't know if you can spot it with the sprites, but they're all on the same layer. I just can't make the code out, so of course you're not going to see it now. Yeah, melon. Right, if we just restart Unity, when they like walk past each other, they're going to clip and yeah, look, they're kind of like flickering. That's because they all have the same layer, so they're all rendered because it's all two-dimensional. They all rendered on the exact same plane. So just going to very quickly wipe the spit off my mic because I'm disgusting and fix that real quick. So to fix that layering thing, what we can do is basically as every villager spawns, we're going to increase the layer. So do here, I'm going to make this a little bit better. Because what I could do is here, villagers, just like this is done. Just, and then they get component, Sprite renderer, dot, storing order. That would actually work. That. There we go. Now they're all sort of layering based on how they're spawned. I'd probably want to do some similar thing with a canvas, but this is not a good practice. What I should really be doing is getting the villager to do all of this when it creates itself, because it already has a reference to Sprite Renderer, and it'll have a reference to its name, because it is a game object within that. So what we're going to do, villagers.last. We're going to call an init function, which doesn't exist, but Visual Studio will allow us to generate one. And then this code here, we're going to get rid of. We'll then press F12 and navigate to that function it's just made for me. Place that. Do that. And then we are going to say S renderer. That. And then what we're going to do, obviously this is complaining that brain, we are going to pass some information in. So JSON. Oh, come on. Work with me here. We did. Can't type on a keyboard today. And I. And JSON.node I. Is that still a JSON node? I think it's a string. I just go back to before we did this. Oh god, I really messed up that spelling. Yeah, it's basically a string. So we'll go back to init. We'll say string name. We'll do underscore name so we can differentiate. And integer sort order. And again, it's a good naming convention to pass them through with underscores. There. Sort order is there. Now technically, now I've done that, that code is going to run quicker than what I did before. Because rather than getting a component for each of those, I am just doing one get component when these villages start to exist. And then assigning it the sort order there. And I could have a reference to canvas by increment canvas sort order here too. So I did that quick little fix to the spawning of those villagers. Was there anything else I really wanted to do with that? For now, no. What we're going to do is just not spawn them in, and we're going to quickly, like I said in my title, we're going to make the animator on this prefab a little bit more featureful. In preparation, basically, for the logic within the combat system. So when I want one of them to do an attack animation, they do an attack animation. So, go to the animator. I might actually do. This is quite squished. We'll leave the code for now. So we already actually I can show you something else I did as well. So all of these here are the extra animations, so we need to sort of integrate them in. But what I did, so with the walk animation for this, I changed the speed, made it even slower. But the animator has a little feature here where you can set a multiplier for the speed of the animation, and it be a parameter of the animator. So there I set it as speed, and that is the speed variable we have assigned here in the villager script. So if we go to the code actually real quick, yeah, so we set the float there. That means if I just have this singular dude wander around to demonstrate. So currently speed set to 4. If I double it to 8, you see he moves quicker, but the animation also moves quicker. It's dynamic. So if I set it to 1, he's also going to move a lot slower. Now that doesn't look super great because the animation isn't really designed to be played that slowly. But it's a really quick way to just make that look a bit better if the speeds are going to vary slightly. That's something I did. Also, what I'm going to do, before I go into the animator, we are just going to tidy up the code a bit. Wander settings. This is a neat little thing you can do to make your inspector for your scripts look a little bit nicer. Movement. Bar variables. But we don't actually use direction. If I do that, and then we go back to Unity. Take a second. But now it's kind of like categorizing them a little bit. Makes it look a little bit nicer. A little bit neater, and I removed the public variable references to other bits of code, because I'm probably not going to touch that for a while. Something else I think I was going to do as well. Nah, I can't remember. We'll go back to the animator stuff. State machine. So I added the speed parameter there. But what we want to start doing is add these other things. So we'll start with the very important one, dying. So the animator has this any state thing. So what this basically means is you can go, doesn't matter if I was in idle walk, attacking, if I was in any of these, if I die, if the character dies, then it will just go straight to the death animation. So we'll transition to that like so. And we are going to use a preset that I made for the sprite sheet, so it just does that. And the condition is going to be, for now it's going to be a trigger, but it might become a boolean. Depends how I want to reset these characters when they die. But we're going to say death as a trigger. So then when death is triggered, a trigger, it's kind of difficult to explain without explaining more stuff. A boolean in programming is whether something is true or false. Two states, and it's used to evaluate conditions like am I alive, am I dead. But a trigger is like a special boolean that you just fire once. So you say yes, I am now dead, and it will do it once. So it'll go from any state to death. What the hell? That was interesting. I don't know how I changed that. I don't know how I did that. Alright, fine. I just couldn't undo it. Right, make transition. Set the preset as that. And then death. So it can just go from death at any point. So if we prefab and I want to sort of demonstrate it. Scene view. Lit away for me, please. Thank you. Shrink that down. So now you should just stand around. No, I thought I could actually watch it in there. Fine. Gonna be slightly awkward. I'm gonna have to nip back. So, bam, death. Nope. Cause I set the prefab, and that was looking at a specific instance. I don't know why I'm singing this. But here we are. Yep, it didn't actually save what I did. That's cool. That's fine. Whatever. Who knows what I was changing there. Death. Oh, that preset. I need to just remove that. And then save that as a new preset. Out of transition. It will complain each time. But then I can just add the transition afterwards, right? Bam. So now we go to game. We drop a dude in. No? That just say. Okay. Oh. I see. So we just set his speed to 0. He shouldn't move around. For demonstration purposes. Oh. Why did you just decide to fucking teleport around me? And what? That state is still... Oh, is it because of the preset actually has the definition of where it... Ah. Okay. I did... It's so difficult to actually set that as a preset then. Because yeah, if I set the preset... No, it doesn't set the transition. Am I special? This is a Rusty special stream where you can... I don't know what's going on anymore. I've lost all concept... Oh, there we go. Right, so there's something weird going on with the presets. Thought that would make my life easier. I guess we're just going to have to manually set each one now. Because I'm hated. Dude, I'm not. So, save that. And we dip out the prefab. Find where he's decided to be. Pop him there. And then we go... Yeah. That loops, which is slightly problematic. But I think we can set that in the actual animation. Setting for that. We loop. Turn that off. We go again. Bonk. Bit spicy, but there you go. You get the idea. It works. That took way too long to figure out.